Hello, 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 friends, and welcome back to another live. And we are on day 28. Y'all, I've been going strong for 28 days live right here on Instagram and on my YouTube channel. Okay, using StreamYard, I'm able to stream on Instagram, but also on YouTube, which is amazing. Let me move my chair because I'm using my standing desk. Come on in, come on in. And today I'm able to situate my computer to where I can see the comments on my other desktop. So definitely drop your questions. Come on in, say hello. Happy Wednesday, happy hum day. Welcome to Lovely Lace. Thank you so much for joining. And today we're talking about, should you buy a foreclosure home as your first home? That is a conversation for today. This is a topic. So any questions that you may have on this topic, drop it in the comment and I'll be happy to answer. So, I got to put my lipstick on. All right, tuning in from Atlanta. Awesome. Yes, come on in as you all come in. Drop in the chat where you're joining from. I'm here in Montgomery in the Prattville area. Welcome to my space. And if you're new here, welcome. I am Shevvymac, retired Air Force veteran turned real estate agent, helping you to buy your first or next home with ease and confidence. Because for me, it's not only about selling you a home, or helping you to purchase your first home, but really helping you to make the best choice for yourself and your family so that when you move into that home, 60 days, 90 days, you don't sit there with regrets, but you sit there with enjoyment and excitement and ease because you've made the best choice for yourself and your family. So come on in. Also share this live with someone that you feel like, hey, could use this information and they're probably in the market to purchase their first or next home. So yes, come on in. All right. So if you're having questions, because I do go fast sometimes, I need to slow down. Just drop a Q in the chat and I will pause and answer your questions. So today I want to talk about, should you buy a foreclosure home as your first home? And I'm going to say a big resounding yes. Okay. And the reason I'm saying yes is because I did it as a first time home buyer back in 2010. And I talked a little bit about this before, but I would just want to go a little bit in depth of why you should consider having your first home be a foreclosure home. So foreclosure homes that are on the market, again, depending on your state, you can, go to Zillow, you can, Google, and you can do filter to search and find all the different options for foreclosure homes. Or you can find a realtor like myself to help and assist you. But before you dive into that process of really looking at, go ahead and answer, drop your questions, just Lovely Lace while I'm talking. But before you go in, before you start the process, really think like, okay, am I okay spending some extra money to fix this home, to get it where it needs to be? Okay. All right, just Lovely Lace asks, are there different types of foreclosures? There's different processes. There's, the judicial foreclosure process, which is really focused on like you're going through a system with the judge is going to declare. But again, it depends on the process, the individuals. If legal has to go through the process, or is it just non-judicial foreclosure where it's just between you and the bank? Maybe you default, because before a house can get to foreclosure, the bank is coordinating with the owner to really work out a process to say, hey, you're falling behind on your loan. Here's what we can do. And they will work with you to get you to pay the mortgage, because at the end of the day, no bank wants to lose that on continuous income over and over. But they know that sometimes this is the case, but they will work with you as, not you, but they will work with the current owner of that home to make sure that they are able to continue. But sometimes people feel like, well, hey, I can't even afford it, so they stop paying completely. But they will send notice after notice, and after a while, either they're going to give you a notice to remove from the house and you remove yourself, or take you to court and go through that process. So yes, there are different types of foreclosures that you can go through, but that's not something that you should be worried about, because you're not looking at the different types of foreclosure, because it's a foreclosure homes and it comes available when all of those different processes has been completed. So no one can come back and say, hey, I'm ready to take my home because now you're living in this home. all of the due diligence has been done and completed using those three processes from judicial foreclosure, non-judicial foreclosure, and also strict foreclosure. And it says in some states, a lender may require mortgage property through a strict foreclosure process. This is first appropriate notice must be given to the delinquent borrowers. So again, these individuals have to be notified before it can even get to that point. All right, just love you, Lace asked. The reason why I asked, are they different types? Because I know some people have tax sales and short sales. Yeah, so yeah, there's different processes, short sales and tax sales. But again, it has to go through a due diligence to make sure that all of the things are in place. So I'm not in depth on the tax sales. I'm just speaking in the sense of foreclosure in general. So when I think speaking of foreclosure in general, that means everything has been done beforehand. That means that this house is ready for you to purchase, or it's available on the market for you to purchase. Because if you go into a the beginning stage of a homeowner going through the process of foreclosure, then you can't really do anything, because if you try to do anything, that person can say, hey, this is still my house. So it doesn't make sense for you as a first-time home buyer to try to find something that's starting the process right now. You want to make sure that, hey, all of the bank process is done, all the legality is done, which by that time the bank will take this house that was previously owned by someone else and put this home on the market to say, hey, this house is available. And one thing you have to remember as a first-time home buyer, if you're looking to purchase your first home as a foreclosure, do understand that some bank is not going to put the time, money, and effort to fix up this house, because it all depends on the previous owner, whether they were angry, upset, that they had to leave their beautiful home. So they may damage the home. They may do certain things, leave it, trash the home. So you have to keep that in mind. So as you are looking and thinking of buying a foreclosure, really tell yourself, okay, if I find one that meets my need, even if it has a little bit of things that I have to fix up and correct, are you willing to do so? That means you're going to have additional money to fix those items, which you can get a loan. So really think about, is this for me? And for me at the time, it was for me because the house that I was able to purchase with my ex-husband was definitely in a great neighborhood. It was in a cul-de-sac, great community, great school, because again, foreclosure happens in all neighborhoods. It doesn't have to be in the neighborhoods that are bad or you like, ooh, it's sketchy, but it can be in the high-end neighborhoods with people who have, they have money, but they just overspend and defaulted on their mortgages, and now they have to leave their home. So one thing that you want to look for those foreclosure properties. Find yourself a realtor. Do know that you will have to spend some additional money to fix it up, depending on the condition of the home. And the good thing about foreclosure homes, you can find great deals because the banks are ready to get this off of their inventory, in a sense, because they don't want to own the house. They don't want to be responsible to pay the mortgage, the taxes, because when the bank takes over the foreclosure, they become the owner. That means all the things that comes with the property taxes, all the things that bank has to pay, which means there's money coming out of their pocket. So it is very critical for them and important for them to say, hey, we have this foreclosure home. Let's get it out of our inventory. Because imagine if they had multiple inventories of homes that were foreclosed. Not good for business, okay? So definitely, you can find great deals. Sometimes they'll negotiate, sometimes they will not. I was able to negotiate because they were asking $170,000. And again, this was 2010. I know we are in 2024, so the prices has definitely increased. And at that time, in 2010, it wasn't far from the 2008 market crash, which housing market was still trying to get its feet back. So definitely that was a great deal for me because it was a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bathroom. It was a great deal. And you can find great deals as a first-time home buyer, especially when it comes to foreclosure. And there are short sale as well too. But again, those are a little bit more trickier because again, short sale, it's more like, something that has to move fast, but also it takes a lot of time. So that person can come back and say, hey, I'm ready to get my house back. So it's like, so you still want to be careful. You still want to be very aware of all the processes and rules that comes up with foreclosure homes. Any other questions? Let me look at my notes. Any question? Oh, welcome, sweetie 29. Thank you for joining. Today we're talking about whether you should buy a foreclosure home as your first home. And I say yes if you are that person who is willing to fix up a home. And sometimes you may not have to because that home might be in great condition. It's just now the house was foreclosed, and now the bank is like, we want to get it out of our inventory. Yes. Okay. Any other questions? Today is just simple, straight to the point. Foreclosure homes are a great way for you to start your home buying journey. You can get a loan to fix up the home, if depending on the condition of the home. And again, you can negotiate because the bank again don't want to have this home in their inventory. They want you to just kind of like, they want to get rid of it. So definitely go ahead, Lovely Glaze, drop your questions in the chat. I'm waiting for her question. I'm going to see what else do I want to add. Yeah, and short sales takes a lot of time. It takes a long time. So for me, I would definitely focus on how can I find a home that's foreclosed on, that has everything completed. Because if you go through a short sale process, it takes months and months, and you may not even get that house at the end. So I will look at foreclosure before I look at a short sale. All right, Just Lovey Lace asks, how would a person get access to a foreclosure list? Should they contact the bank directly or advise the realtors that there's preferred method and have them to create the list for them? So you can Google, you can use one of the Zillows or different home search platforms, and you can just kind of filter, and it will tell you what type of homes that are actually foreclosed on. So you can look at all the foreclosure homes, and you can kind of start looking and see, hey, okay, I have a few in my area. These are the ones that I would like to check out. You can probably try to do it on your own, but honestly, I would definitely say I would highly recommend that you go through a realtor. And by working with that realtor, you're telling that realtor that you are hiring them to help you on this journey, because you're still going to go through the same process. You're still going to go through the bank. You're still going to go through, because you still got to get a loan to get this get the mortgage. You still got to make sure that your credit score is good to go. It's still the same process of buying any home. Is just that this home was a foreclosure home, and now you have the benefit of getting a bigger home, bigger lot, bigger land for lower price. Not always, that is not always the case, but that is an opportunity, is that you can get something at a lower price. Instead of paying, $375,000, it may be $325 because of little things that you do have to fix up. But definitely you can find your own list by just Googling in foreclosure homes in your area, or you can hire a realtor to help you, because if a realtor is helping you, you're saying that, hey, you're signing that contract saying that this realtor is my realtor and he or she is helping me to find my home, because you still got to go through the process. You're going to close. You still want to make sure the home is not owned by anyone else. You still want to go through the due diligence of getting this home inspection. So same concept, like if you were buying a regular home. And some banks with the home inspection, they don't even care if you do one or not, because at the end of the day, they may say as is, like a vehicle sold as is. Some houses are like that. I know mine was, but the great thing, we had, a few things to be corrected, but it wasn't major. Things major to look out for if you're looking to buy foreclosure homes are like the foundation of the home, the roof of the home, the heating and the water system, the pipes. So even though they may say as is, you can still hire your own inspector to walk through the home and do a full inspection, so that you are aware as a buyer of, hey, if I do go forward on this home, what am I coming out when it comes to expenses? Because at the end of the day, yes, is a great deal, but what are you going to be? What will you be paying at the end if you have a lot of big major things to correct? So I would definitely invest in getting that home inspector with it may be $300 to $500 depending on the needs for you, but definitely if it's as is, still get that home inspection done just for your knowledge, your awareness, and then you can choose how to move forward from there. Okay. All right, but great question. Just love you, Lace. Thank you for sharing those questions in the chat. Anyone else, if you have a question, by all means, drop it in the chat. If you're on YouTube and you have a question, you can drop it there as well, too. I will definitely answer your questions as I go through the comments. But if you're not on my YouTube channel, please go over to my YouTube channel at SMM Realty Group, living in Montgomery, Alabama, to subscribe and hit the notification bell to be notified, because I've been here every day this month. I will be here tomorrow, and I will be here on Friday as well, because I'm going 30 days straight, and then I will continue the live, but it will not be every day. I may go down to twice a week or once a week or 3 times a week, depending on what's going on. But it'll be just different things, me sharing. You'll be seeing me more outside as well, too. So, yeah. All right. Well, if there are no other questions, if there are questions, drop a Q and I'll just give it a few more seconds. But today was all about sharing with you why, as a first-time home buyer, that you should look at foreclosure as an option to be your first home, because there's a lot of great benefits. You can find a beautiful home in a beautiful neighborhood at a great price. The downside is you may have to do some repairs, and those repairs may be big or small. And depending on your needs, you may say yes, or you may say no. But I really think if you're a first-time home buyer and you have the finances, your credit is great, and you can afford to do a little bit of fixing up, I say definitely it's a great opportunity for you to really step into home ownership and have that be your first home. Because even though my first home was a foreclosure home, guess what? We fixed it up. We went through some things in the sense of, renting the property. We fixed it up, but also it was sold for full price when we sold it, which was more than the 170. All right, y'all. Since there are no other questions, thank you so much for joining me. And I am Shevvymac, your realtor at KW Montgomery here in Montgomery, Alabama, supporting you to purchase your first or next home with ease and confidence, so that when you move in, you're not sitting with regrets, but you're sitting with joy, ease, and happiness. All right, y'all. Well, I will see you all tomorrow. And tomorrow I have a guest. Hopefully everything is good to go and nothing happens, but she will be here live. We'll be here at 9:15. And she's going to share what's going on with the different types of mortgages. And also she's going to talk about the mortgage rates as well, too. So join me tomorrow. Bring your questions for her. Hey, Golden Boy 803, thank you for joining. Today I talked about, should you buy a foreclosure home as your first home? Definitely catch the replay because I'm about to close out. But if there are any questions that you have, or you know someone who is in the market looking to purchase their first or next home, definitely connect them with me. You can have them email me at shevvymac@kw.com. That is shevvymac@kw.com. Or you can just click the link in my bio to book a free consultation. All right, so I do have another question from Just Lovely Lays. Drop your question, ma'am. All right, so Just Lovely Lays asks, since the home is a foreclosure, do any additional requirements have to be in place, like certain insurances or just a certain type of loan? So even though it's a foreclosure, before you even get to the closing table, same concept. You still have to have, home insurance. You still have to have everything in place, because it's just like a typical home. It's just the title that it's under. It's a not the title, but the word that is being used for this specific home is foreclosure. But the process to close and make this home your home is still the same. You still have to have an attorney. You still have to, have a closing agent, a lender. You still have to get a loan. You still have to have your credit, make sure that you're qualified. Same process. Because when I went through my process, I went through, used a VA loan, VA did the home appraisal. So a home appraisal still had to be done, because even though it was a foreclosure, the VA still wanted to make sure, like, hey, does it make sense for us to give this loan for this house? Does the value make sense, or is it way below what they're asking for? So same thing. It's just that it's a foreclosure home. It's just that you're going to get some additional benefits in the sense of the price, compared to what you would have paid for a brand new home or another home. But the process to get to the closing table is the same. You still got to put it down. You still got to put earnest money down, because I still had to put my earnest $1,000 down. You still got to bring money to closing. You still got to get your loan approved. So same concept. But great question. Any other questions before I close out today? I was looking for my water because I am thirsty. All right, if there are no questions, because I have 3 people on here, thank you for joining me. #replay. And again, reach out to me if you all have any questions and you would like to view a home or purchase your next home in the Montgomery and the surrounding areas. All right, y'all. Well, I will see you all tomorrow. And don't forget, I will have a guest tomorrow. So bring your questions for the mortgage rates or the mortgage types. Okay. All right, y'all. Have a beautiful day, and I will see you all tomorrow.